Good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Lawrence, we're live.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It is February 24. So we got me there? Yeah. Okay, so February 24, as usual, the slaughterhouse of failure is not in our destiny. We shall persevere so we succeed. It is very important for us to keep that in mind. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Denzel Washington. Sorry, got that on there too.
I think you're on computer there. Yeah, good. Now you're muted.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Denzel Washington. First of all, a little clip about that, because we want to talk about some common sense things, which are not always the most common of the senses. We know things, but we don't apply them. So we're going to start with a little clip from Denzel Washington.
All right. Yeah, we're here this morning to inspire, figure out what our desires are, what we aspire to be, and hopefully this talk by Denzel Washington will light some fires. So we're going to get started with that, and then we'll have a little chat afterwards.
That's right. Fail big. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and just a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. Number 3, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it. They got robbed. You can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have. It's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is help someone else. Why is it selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. It's the joy. That's where the joy is in helping others. That's where the success is in helping others. Finally, I pray that you put your slippers way under the bed tonight, so that when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. While you're down there, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's where I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I'll say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
So that's pretty powerful stuff. And I'd like to put out there a question, because when Denzel Washington in this particular case is talking about go outside the box, what is the box? What is it? It's the traditional way of thinking. It's our conservative, regimented thinking where we're afraid to go off the norms for being different. We're trained to be conformists. Don't be afraid of being different. We've got an entrepreneurial model. We're artists of our own canvases. Use the fear of not being in the comfort zone of mediocrity where many people live. That's why people are in that box, because it's a comfort zone. Because that's where most of the people live. But don't be afraid to come out of that box. Think big, dream big, but then add to that you have to have discipline and consistency, all the things we know about. But the first thing is to get out of that box and to think, I don't want to be like everybody else. Unless it's something that is, absolutely fantastic. And is it? Is it really? I don't know, think about it. I didn't want to be the same as everybody else. I wanted to be more from what I could do. And I think this is what we should all be striving for.
Yeah, don't want what others want. Want what you want.
Yeah.
Don't want what others have. Get what you deserve. Figure out what you want and go get it. Decide what and who you want to be and go be it. But ultimately, don't be afraid to fail, because you're going to fail. You're going to fail big. You're going to fail over and over and over. And you're going to have a lot less successes than you have, or a lot less failures, or a lot less successes than you're going to have failures. But a tenet to that is thinking outside the box and not being able to fail. I've thought outside the box my entire career. I've always taken the approach that I'm helping people, and I don't require anything in return. I help people, as Denzel said, it's the most selfish thing that you can do, because how it makes you feel while you're helping other people. And I've made a lot of money helping other people. So the two are intertwined, and there's no reason why you should feel bad about making money helping people when your primary goal is to help those people. The other thing that he said is that hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. Are you working hard enough to be successful? Or are you just spending some of your time trying to reach your goals? Or are you spending a majority of your time trying to reach your goals? And what are those tasks that you're doing to reach those goals? Just because you're doing tasks, just because you're being active, doesn't mean that you're being successful. Lawrence?
So, yeah, when he says, the other thing, he says, give thanks in advance. We have our own mission statement. We have our own statement that we say, it is now December 2024, and I am in the zone of abundance, and we have our statements of what we look forward to. That's a sort of way of starting to say thanks in advance, because you are planning to bring people with you. You're planning to help people along the way, and this is what it's about always. And it's about understanding that alone there are only so many things, so much we can achieve, but we can achieve a lot more if we what goes around comes around. So if we can help other people, we're helping ourselves as well. So he talks about discipline, consistency all the time, plan every day. So things like that, we know. Failure to plan is planning to fail. All these things we know, but we've actually got to put them into effect. And the other thing is, in our box, we're trained to be, we're not trained to take risks. Oh, don't do that, you'll fail. Oh, even when we're kids, oh, no, don't do that, you'll get into trouble. Oh, don't do that, you'll fail. Well, really? If we don't try it, we don't know it. And if you don't dream it, how the hell are you going to know? We've got to dream, and we've got to really dream big and not be afraid of going out of that box, not being afraid of burning our bridges, a point of no return. That is the whole point of being able to have self-belief and absolute belief in ourselves and our own capabilities. So quitting is falling back, but falling forwards is where we want to go. We want to fall forwards by learning from our mistakes. Be happy with your mistakes, because you're going to learn from it. Don't give up. Learn from it. You'll have lots of mistakes, lots and lots. Don't be afraid. You're going to make mistakes. We all do, every day. My wife tells me I'm wrong all the time, so I'm used to making mistakes. So we fall forward by making mistakes. You fall back if you fail. Don't be afraid, man. Get in there and have absolute conviction of what we're doing, of how we're doing it, and bring the people with you on this journey of success.
If you've never had the pleasure of being on a three-way call with Lawrence, you've never had the pleasure of hearing him ask someone what they want. And most people do not have an answer to that question. But each and every one of us on this call can have anything that we want. But but first you need to know what it is that you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you don't know how to set the goals to get there, to be successful, to get what you want. And I've seen a lot of people confuse movement with progress. They're running around like chickens with their head cut off. They're doing things all day long. And I've watched people do this in multiple professions. And at the end of the day, they're exhausted. But if you ask them what they did, they'll tell you a million different things that they did. But did any of them progress where they wanted to be, progress what they needed to do that day, progress helping them reach their goals? Or are they just being busy for the sake of being busy? Every one of us on here has been guilty of that at one time or another. But it's changing that focus from being busy to progressing, to doing those things in our daily lives that are going to help us reach our goals, helping others.
So on this theme about progressing, we've got a little clip that we want to show you as well. And this is something that you may not know, but Scott Bennett has a brother called, he's probably got others too that I don't know about, but Scott has a brother called Ty Bennett, who is an international speaker. And he just did a little thing with his kids and on a stage talking about ninjas. And this little clip brings me to the point of thinking about us being ninja business warriors. So really understanding that whatever it takes, we'll do whatever it takes. As Dan just said, we need to know what we want. And then we've got to really understand that it's going to take a lot of hard work, practice, mental adjustment, and failure as a fuel for our success. Do we have the guts to fail? Do we have the courage to get up again and again after each failure? Practice makes permanent. We talk about also having a friend in the business. It's a coach. What is a coach? A coach is your best friend who's going to tell you and slap you between the eyes when you make a mistake, critique you, encourage you, guide you, prod you, be relentless. So the ninja is something that is very important. And we are not in the W-2 business. We're in the 1099 business. So everything is different. We don't have to, we're not going to get a salary at the end of the month just because we happen to show up. We've got to make a difference. And we've got to be a master of what we do. So we got a little clip to show you, and I think it's very relevant.
I'm going to build a full-scale ninja rig on your stage, and your people are going to learn relevant skills and principles as they watch my sons who are nationally ranked ninja warriors. We actually had to unlearn the entire swing that they were using and relearn a whole new skill. Sometimes what got you here won't get you there. And you have to deconstruct that skill to take it to another level. We are facing the most rapid period of change that has ever happened in human history. And so adaptability in today's world is not important, it is imperative.
During Ty's presentation, no one is going to be looking at their phones. It really is that engaging.
You have to have failure to get to success. Failure is on the road to success.
Failure is super important for me because it allows me to learn and grow and achieve what I want to achieve.
Can I just take like a proud dad moment for a second? Your people will leave this speech thoroughly entertained, but they're going to come away understanding the psychology of change, how to adapt, and how to lean into failure with a growth mindset that is going to make them better. Because that's what mastery is, isn't it? Mastery is leaning in. It's doing the work. It's putting in those hours and hours and hours, those unseen hours that nobody else is there. It's failing over and over again without quitting, without giving up your resolve. It's coming back to the table. It's facing that fear. It's dealing with change. It's adapting. That is ninja. That's how you master something.
So,
I don't even want to call this a keynote speech. This is never.
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead, Don.
No, I was just stopping it. Go ahead.
Okay. Because the whole point of what we're talking about on our mindset calls is exactly that, the mindset. And we are the artists of our own paintings in life, of what we want, of who we are. But this doesn't come just because. It comes through a hang of a lot of hard work, lots of mistakes, falling down, and having somebody to guide us and prompt us and help us as well. And not being afraid to take risks. And just being brave about everything that we do, because we can. There's nothing we cannot do.
You know, one of the things that I'm really, really good at is planning my days. You know, I meticulously look the night before at what I have the next day. I meticulously put it into an order that I think that I'm going to get it done in the most efficient way possible. And I meticulously put everything in order in a way that helps me achieve my goals first. And then those meaningless tasks that don't help me reach my goals are put on for the end of the day. And if I don't get to them, that's okay. I move them to the next day because they don't need to get done. They're not things that I have to get done because they're not things that are going to help me reach my goals. Right? And that's not being selfish. That's being disciplined to figure out what those things are that help you reach your goals, and then prioritizing those items first thing in your day, while you still have time and energy and excitement and discipline and consistency, you know, before your day starts to fall apart with, you know, family things and, you know, friends texting you and all these other things that are just distractions that are keeping you from reaching your goals, keeping you from getting what you want. So, you know, I don't aspire, just like Denzel said, I don't aspire to make a living. I aspire to make a difference. And by doing those two things, I make a very, very good living, which allows me to have the lifestyle that I want, not that's dictated to me by doctors, nurses, hospitals. You know, for 25 years, that was all dictated to me. None of my time was my own. And my goal and what I wanted was to have more time to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it.
And, you know, if you think about it, what's so good about Navy SEALs? Why do we talk about Navy SEALs with absolute kind of respect and reverence? Because they've collectively, as a group, reached a level of perfection in what they're doing. Those are people that will be there in case there's some massive emergency. Those are people you can always rely on. Not only them, many of the people in the services. But what's the key word? Discipline. You can be mediocre in your intelligence, but if you've got discipline, you can excel. Discipline is the key to absolutely being successful. Because if you, and of course you need training and introspection and all that stuff, but the discipline is key. If you're not disciplined, you're actually on a course of spinning your wheels, of being busy, of working like crazy and not achieving anything. That's being busy. That's not achieving. That's not going forward. So, I know we're almost there, Dan. If you've got anything, if anybody wants to add anything, any comments? No?
Oh, I'll say something. It's Deb here. I think the important thing is yeah, a lot of people fall on, oh, I'm so busy, I'm getting so much done, but it's getting out of your comfort zone. Because if you're not doing something that makes you uncomfortable, you're not moving forward. And we all get caught up with that. I know I do too. But yeah, it's really getting uncomfortable, making changes, doing something different. If you're not getting the results you want, try something different. I constantly never sit back and just do the same thing over and over again. I'm really fine tuning and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Just like we're continuously learning all the time and failing forward.
So
How many times has anybody been on a call with a person about this business, or just not about this business, but you've been talking to somebody and they say they're too busy? Well, what are you too busy doing? You know, there's only so many hours in a day, and if you're not spending the hours in that day trying to reach your goals and get what you want, then you're wasting your time. You know, and I can assure you that I'm very, very busy, but I make the time to do those things that I need to do to be successful in all of the things that I do.
So I'd like to give out a shout out to our ninja warrior, John Swartz. He is the epitome of this business warrior. This week, he's already placed 3 scanners. He is relentless, and honestly has become very professional in this business. He continues to master this. And I'm using him as an example because it's the results. It's where we see results. And I mean, these are all new people on the calls we have on Tuesday. We had with Dan's Ruby call on Tuesday. You know, we have anybody new, and suddenly there comes, you know, John with 8 people. It's relentless. It's being a ninja warrior in business.
And I recognize that. John's not on my team, but I see what he does. And I hear from Lawrence what he's doing, and every single time it blows me away. And if John's okay with this, I'm going to just quickly read a text message that he and I had back and forth. I texted him the other day after Lawrence was telling me this, and I, you know, out of the blue will text John and tell him, you know, I'm impressed with him and he inspires me. And, you know, so I texted him, "You are my idol." And then he said, you know, he did a ha thing. And I was like, "I'm serious, man. You work hard." He said, "Thanks. I appreciate that." And then I said, "You remind me of me when I was your age."
Yeah, I said the same thing. You're mini me.
And then he said, "Trying to find people that work like us, but they're hard to find." And I said, "I know, it's really sad." And then he said, "I appreciate your support," and then asked me to do a 3-way call with him next week. So, you know, the hard work, when people do hard work, it doesn't go unrecognized.
And this thing about, just to conclude with that, but not to make it about me, but to talk about hard work and being recognized. When I was very young, I went and I was in Philippines. I worked 2 8-hour shifts for the same pay as everybody else. And I did that for like 8 months. Nobody asked me to do it. Double shifts. And all my colleagues, my friends and so on were saying, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you doing it?" I said, "Well, it's my business." After 8 months, I was recognized by the company headquarters. And from there, they say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I wanted to be recognized as being exceptional, as being above and beyond. I'm not normal. I'm beyond that. I'm above that." From there, I became the number 2 person in Thailand with 600 employees. And that was because I just went beyond and out of the box in thinking. Anyway, thanks everybody for being on the call today. Anybody else got anything?
I just want to remind everybody that dreams without goals are just that. They're just dreams. And, you know, you just really need to understand what it is that you want. If you don't know exactly what that is, try and drill down on that this weekend. Figure it out, because then it's going to make reaching those goals of what you want that much easier. And then finally, don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. Have a great weekend, everybody.
God bless everybody. Thank you for being on. Cheers. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks. Great call, guys.
God bless. Have a great weekend. Great call.
Thanks, everyone.